Omar Mateen may have appeared to live a normal life, but a disturbing portrait is now emerging of a mass murderer, an abusive husband prone to hateful outbursts. And then there are those multiple inquiries by the FBI for possible links to terror. ABC News senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas goes inside the investigation.
Today in Fort Pierce, Florida, after FBI agents left the shooter's apartment, a first look at how he lived prior to unleashing terror in that crowded nightclub in Orlando. This video provided to ABC News by a Univision TV crew, the reporter describing the messy aftermath of the FBI raid.
Todo desordenado.
Otherwise, a portrait of a normal life. Family photos on the dining room table and walls. On the kitchen counter, an expired Florida firearms license. And the room of the terrorist's 3-year-old son, filled with toys and a bike with a Spider-Man helmet. No sign of the devotion to ISIS he professed during his attack on Sunday. But law enforcement, now in possession of the shooter's phone, is hoping it holds new clues to what might have motivated the deadly rampage that killed 49 and injured more than 50 in the largest mass shooting in American history.
There are strong indications of radicalization by this killer and of potential inspiration by foreign terrorist organizations.
The shooter, Omar Mateen, dialed 911 twice during his siege, pledging allegiance to ISIS and solidarity with an American suicide bomber who fought for al-Nusra Front, a group fighting ISIS in Syria.
It is also not entirely clear at this point just what terrorist group he aspired to support.
While investigators pore over these details, they're also answering tough questions about a man who seemed to have slipped through the cracks. Mateen was an American citizen, born in New York. He attended high school in Stuart, Florida. It was at this courthouse where he worked as a security guard when he first caught the attention of the FBI.
He made some statements that were inflammatory and contradictory that concerned his coworkers about terrorism.
One coworker recalled him as a man with many hatreds.
Black people, women. He did not like Jews. He did not like Hispanics, nor did he like gay or lesbian people.
In fact, the FBI interviewed him twice, placed him under surveillance, even introduced him to confidential sources, and recorded their conversations. But because the FBI investigation found no evidence of any ties to terrorism, there were no criminal charges. And Mateen was allowed to walk into this gun store 3 times over the past 10 days to buy firearms. But does that concern you, that your system didn't blink red?
I don't know enough to say whether I'm concerned or not.
HEF was at the gun store today where Mateen legally bought a handgun and an assault rifle, the weapons he used in the deadliest of recent mass shootings. Would you have liked to have known that the FBI was investigating him for terrorism?
It would have been fantastic. He wouldn't have gotten a gun.
Today, Mateen's father said no one was more surprised by his son than him.
I condemn what he did. I wish I did know that what he was doing, if I did catch him, I would have arrested it myself.
But Mateen's ex-wife paints a very disturbing portrait of a man unhinged, homophobic, violent.
This was a sick person. This was a sick person that was really confused and went crazy.
Satura Yusufi, who says she hasn't spoken to Mateen in 7 years, told ABC News when they were married, he regularly beat her and had deep hatred for gays.
He would express his anger towards a certain culture, homosexuality.
Mateen's current wife, seen in this photo, is reportedly now cooperating with the FBI and has told them Mateen may have scouted a number of locations for his attack, including Disney properties in Orlando. Disney, the parent company of ABC, would not confirm the report, but said it has been increasing security measures for some time in what it calls a world of uncertainty. Uncertainty reinforced by the fact that the FBI is currently watching about 800 ISIS sympathizers here in the U.S., trying to figure out which ones might go on a murderous rampage.
We are looking for needles in a nationwide haystack, but we're also called upon to figure out which pieces of hay might someday become needles. That is hard work.
But what more could have been done? Should the FBI have stayed on the case, continuing to track Mateen's movements?
So far, the honest answer is, I don't think so. I don't see anything in reviewing our work that our agents should have done differently.
What Director Comey would not fully address today is why those who had investigated Mateen were not or could not be told Their former terror suspect was now buying an arsenal of weapons. The president today expressing frustration that politics was tying the hands of law enforcement.
The fact that we make it this challenging for law enforcement, for example, even to get alerted that somebody who they are watching has purchased a gun. And if they do get alerted, sometimes it's hard for them to stop them from getting a gun, is crazy. It's a problem.
Even as the body count continues to rise from mass shootings, no consensus on precisely what, if anything, to do. For Nightline, Pierre Thomas, Orlando, Florida.